Mercedes-AMG Interview Lounge.
We welcome to the show Dr. Jerome Adams. Good morning, Dr. Adams. Thanks for taking time to call us today.
Morning.
Good morning, and I'm going to have to check out that show you were talking about on Disney Plus. I don't know if you all know, but I have a 15, a 14, and a 10-year-old, so we definitely are big fans of Disney and Disney Plus, and just like everyone else out there, trying to find ways to keep our minds busy and our bodies healthy during this period when we're telling everyone to stay at home to stop the spread.
Hey, you know what? You've got a busy day every day. I'm sure it's around the clock for you, Dr. Adams, but you're also a husband. You're also a parent. How are you handling this and as a citizen and as well as being the nation's doctor? I mean, how is this affecting you personally? How are you doing?
Well, I appreciate you asking that, and I'm hanging in there. A lot of people don't realize the sacrifices that a lot of our public servants make. And for me, I'm okay with it. This is what I signed up for. But my family, my wife, my kids, they miss having dad at home. The dog, my little dog Bella, is getting lonely, not seeing me as much. And the people working at the CDC, at the FDA, working to try to keep us safe, they're out there taking time away from their families and in some cases putting their lives on the line. I've had over 6,000 of my officers in the Commission Corps who deploy around the world to help respond to different outbreaks, including the coronavirus. So thank you for asking that. At the end of the day, it's my honor. I come from a family who's served in the military, and it's the honor of my life to have this role, and I wish it wasn't at such a time where you're seeing lives lost, where you're seeing people put at risk, but that's what God put me here for.
Well, having you on that stage every day is definitely comforting. As we're getting the bad news, we actually feel like we're getting it from someone who's, I'll go ahead and say it, a little younger than the average age of everyone on the stage. Yeah. But we have full trust in what you're bringing to the table, and you do bring a different level of energy and enthusiasm to something that is so serious. So let's talk about the headlines of the day, because I know this changes every day, maybe every hour with you, especially with the range of different age groups listening to our show right now. Dr. Adams, what is your headline and your message today?
Well, my headline number one is that the United States is now approaching Europe in some places. The coronavirus started in China, and so we had a travel restriction to China. Then it went to Europe, mostly Italy. Unfortunately, New York is the new Italy. The attack rate, the number of people in that city who have been diagnosed with coronavirus is about the same now, or who are being diagnosed with coronavirus is about the same as Italy. And so we want people to understand how serious this is. The new data in the United States actually suggests that we may have a younger demographic in the United States who is getting hospitalized, who is at risk than in those other countries. And we don't know why yet. Some people feel like it may be because we have such a high percentage of young people vaping. And you all know that I put out an advisory last year alerting young people to the potential dangers of vaping. But anything that inflames your lungs can put you at risk for coronavirus. We want young people to know you can get this. You can be hospitalized from it. You can die from it. But I think more importantly, we love our grandparents. We love our aunts and our uncles. And one day we'll actually look back and appreciate our parents too. And I hope that my kids one day look back and appreciate what I did. But we don't want to bring these diseases home. We don't want to bring coronavirus home to a loved one and someone who's at risk and feel like we were responsible for them being hospitalized or dying.
Yeah, we have societal responsibility. Like, you may be feeling like $1 million. It doesn't mean you don't have it, and it doesn't mean you can't give it to someone who could really, really be torn apart by it. By the way, just turning us on, U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, who I believe was raised right across the river in Orange, New Jersey. We got a hometown boy on the radio.
I was born there. I'm an East Coast kid, and it's why I reach out to so many celebrities from up and down the East Coast and people who are influencers. Just this morning, my daughter sent me a text from Lauren Gray, who's number 1 or number 2 on TikTok. She and I met in New York, Lauren Gray and I did, and I introduced her to my daughter, and I said, hey, Lauren, can you help young people understand the importance of staying home? Kylie Jenner put out a message when I asked her to. I still don't know if Roman Atwood has stepped up yet or not, but I asked him to do it too because my boys love him. But we've got to understand that my kids will listen to them, and a lot of your listeners will listen to them before they'll listen to even the Surgeon General of the United States. But we all need to understand the importance of staying home, avoiding gatherings of 10 or more, avoiding unnecessary travel to protect ourselves and to protect our grandparents, our loved ones, our nanas, our pop-pops.
There you go.
Yep.
By the way, in New York,
Wow.
as they are now calling the epicenter of the disease here in the United States, people between the ages of 18 and 49 are representing over half of the state's cases. So, when we came out of the chute with this story, it was all, this is an older person's problem. No, it's not. Right. Definitely not.
Nope.
Hey, Froggy is checking in from his guest bedroom in Jacksonville, Florida. We're doing our show in all of our kitchens and bedrooms, by the way, Dr. Adams. Froggy, do you have a question for Dr. Adams?
Hey, you're practicing social distancing. I love it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I know. And by the way, and to that point, when you guys are on the stage in the White House, you're only 3 inches from each other. I think that's a bad example. I just wanted to bring that up.
You know what? It is a bad example, and you will notice that we've been better about it lately. One of the challenging things with communication is the messaging is hard, but you also sometimes can't win. Whenever one of us is missing from the stage, the news story is, where's Dr. Fauci? Where's Dr. Adams?
Right.
Where's Dr. Burke? But then when we're all up on stage, they say, why are you all up on stage?
Exactly. No, you can't win. I just 1 minute ago, hey, Fauci, back up. Back up. Okay, thank you. All right, Froggy has a question. Go ahead, Froggy.
I'm not saying that to Dr. Fauci. Dr. Fauci is revered now, and he's actually one of my good buddies, but I'm not saying that to Dr. Fauci.
Dr. Adams, I've got a question, and so many people are going to the grocery store and getting the essentials that they need, but we're also getting a lot from Amazon. This morning we've seen some stories where there are employees at Amazon. They've had to shut down some warehouses because employees have been infected. How should we be receiving our mail that's coming every day, or these packages? Should we not bring them in our house, or what's a way to make sure that we're not introducing coronavirus by getting these packages brought into our homes?
There are some experiments where they've shown that the virus can live on surfaces for several hours to several days. But you have to understand, those are experiments using high concentrations, not real-life situations. What I tell folks, and actually not just what I tell folks, what I do, because we're still ordering from Amazon too. If you get a package, don't pull it in right away. Let it sit outside for a bit, or spray it down with Lysol, or wipe it down before you open it up, and then open up the box and just dump everything out onto the floor, because whatever's in the box has probably been in there long enough that the virus would have died. And then get rid of the box and wash your hands. And do the same thing when you're going to the grocery store. Just wash your hands frequently. Make sure you aren't touching something that someone just touched a few minutes or hours ago and then putting it on your face or touching your body.
Yeah, just keep your fingers off your face is really the headline here. It's just like, don't touch your face holes. Gandhi, you got a question for Dr. Adams?
Keep your hands to yourself and wash up. I mean, it's that simple.
Right.
Mom was the early Dr. Fauci.
Okay, so we've seen at a lot of grocery stores and other places, they're running out of hand sanitizers and bleach wipes and stuff like that. Are there alternatives that you know of that could actually work? Like, I found a bunch of hydrogen peroxide yesterday. Does that stuff work as far as cleaning surfaces and keeping the germs away?
If you go to coronavirus.gov or cdc.gov, there are different links to ways that you can make up cleaning solutions with peroxide, with alcohol or bleach that you may have around your house. But here's the thing. We just talked about it. Everyone's going crazy over hand sanitizer. You know what's better than hand sanitizer? Good old-fashioned soap and water. So just wash your hands frequently. Wash them after you touch something else that someone else may have touched, and save the hand sanitizer for emergency situations or when you don't have another option. Don't use up the hand sanitizer when you otherwise could be washing your hands with soap and water, which is better anyway.
I have another question.
Our U.S. Surgeon General, Dr. Jerome Adams, is here, and Danielle in her basement in New Jersey has a question. Go ahead, Danielle.
All right, so we're saying to keep our hands, off our faces. Now, I see that like it's more older people, less children getting this. The children are the ones that I feel like never take their hands off their faces. They always have their hands on their faces because you can't tell them not to do it. They don't listen. So how come more of them aren't getting it?
Well, here's the thing. There's something about coronavirus such that people who have medical conditions or people who are older are more likely to experience complications from it. It's not to say that young people aren't getting it and can't carry it around to other people. And that's what's important to remember. We know that older people are the ones who are getting hospitalized and dying disproportionately, though we're hearing more and more about young people getting it and being hospitalized. But young people are the spreaders. And so we don't want you bringing it to grandma or grandpa. And it's just like every flu season. We tell you, look, if you've got a snotty nose and a cough, then you can't go to the nursing home and see grandma because you may take her flu. It's the same thing for coronavirus. And so we need to make sure we're washing up our little ones as much as possible. We're keeping them out of public as much as possible, but we're certainly not bringing them around older people or people who have chronic medical conditions because they could spread the coronavirus to them and cause them to die.
By the way, we have one more minute left with Dr. Adams. I know you came into this week with the headline that this could be our darkest week yet, maybe the most challenging week. And I'm assuming next week will be very challenging as well. Is there any way to put a time base on this? Or is it something that this pandemic it has a mind of its own and we just got to sit back and just watch it go?
Well, we don't have to sit back and watch it go. Here's the thing. We have best case scenario, which is South Korea, China. Once they really started to be aggressive about social distancing, about staying home, it was about 6 to 8 weeks when they saw their curve hit their peak and come back down. So about a month to 2 months. Italy didn't do that, and we're seeing that their cases are still going up. So we have a choice. Do we want to be like Italy and have this thing spiral out of control, or do we want to be like South Korea and China? And I'm confident that people are doing the right thing. You see in New York City, yesterday said their cases are starting to level off. Hopefully we continue to see that trend. But we know these measures work, and it's really going to depend not on the federal government, not on me or Dr. Fauci, but on every single person in the community, including all of your listeners, saying, hey, I'm going to do the right thing at least for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to stay at home and wash my hands so that we can get through to the other side more quickly and with as few people being hospitalized and dying as possible. It's up to you. So please go to coronavirus.gov, check out our 15 days to stop the spread, find out what the measures that you can take, and realize it's up to you to determine how long this lasts.
Wow. Stay at home and wash your hands. Pretty easy to remember. Thank you so much for your time today. U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams, what an honor to have you. And we can't wait to see you on that stage today. Thank you so much for representing and calling in today.
And invite me back anytime. I love talking to you all. We can talk about Disney Plus all you want. And don't forget, you can still go out and give blood in your communities. Just make an appointment first.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Adams. Have a great day.
All right. Take care.
There you go.